Hi. What should I say? Hey, I'm Dave. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Drift. And today I'm going to sit down with one of our advisors, Hiten Shah. We're going to talk about everything from content marketing to SaaS, sales, to podcasting, to why he thinks chatbots are not just about the hype. And he's going to join me right here in a minute, so stay tuned. Who we are.
I'm Hiten. I'm just visiting.
It's perfect.
It's the truth.
Hiten is one of our advisors here at Drift, and I had this idea. I said, you're going to be here. Let's do a little segment called Hanging with Hiten.
Okay.
That's good, right?
Yeah, great.
I have a couple of different questions I want to talk to you. All different topics related to SaaS.
Yeah.
All over the map.
Can we talk about like life?
You have something that's on your mind. I want you to bring it up. Actually, we were just talking about learning. Repeat what you just said about learning, like in your own style of learning.
Yeah, I think people learn different ways. So, if someone's being prescriptive, like your boss was, about a way to learn, I think that can actually damage someone's ability to learn because they start conforming to someone else's way of learning. So you should know your way of learning. For example, for me, I actually learn better with audio than like reading a written book.
This is might be a silly question. How do you figure out how you learn?
So there's a really simple way, which is like when you're try different ways. So try an audiobook and see if you can be like me and get to 3x on Audible, right? I can listen at 3x and still pick it up.
Okay.
Other people can't.
Yep.
Or go watch educational video and see if that works better for you. Mm-hmm. Or go read a book. Mm-hmm. And one test is what did you retain? So write out what you retained after. Just explore different ways.
I want to ask you about content. Every company in SaaS, every marketing person in SaaS does content. Yeah. And most people are just not good at it.
Yeah.
What do you think you need to be able to do in order to be good at content today? And also, what does being good at content get you? Like, is it conversions? Is it awareness? Like,
what is being good at content though?
It's building an audience and building a brand around things that you're creating as a company. This video is a piece of our content. Even if you didn't look at our traffic, if you just looked in my inbox or other people's inboxes, you just have this sense of people are really digging what we're doing. But it's harder to map that all the way to this person converted. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the blogging is a direct response channel when it's not.
No, blogging is not a direct response channel. You're not blogging to get conversion, you're actually blogging to build brand. It's one of the easiest ways to get in front of people every day, while people only convert maybe once a month, right? Or whenever they feel like it. Right. So if you treat it like every blog post I'm going to do is going to get me paid signups, you're doing it wrong.
How do you coach people on what they should be measuring if it's not conversion? Because I think a lot of people have trouble with that.
Sure.
Okay, if it's not conversion, then what am I?
Well, if you've got content you're writing and there's some form of a response, so one form of a response on a blog is that they actually shared it. Mm-hmm. Another form of a response is they commented. Mm-hmm. On an email, it'd be nice if you got replies, unless you're one of those people that uses no reply to send the email, which is not good. A lot of people waste a lot of time thinking they're going to get conversions, and then they fail at content marketing and they stop doing it. Yeah. Early on, you should just focus on building that brand, and you're trying to build the early audience. That's really your main goal.
Related to content, the new thing that you're doing, we're doing, everyone's been doing, podcasting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a leading question.
Sure.
5 years ago, everybody has a blog.
Yeah.
Now everybody has a podcast. Are you doing your podcast for business reasons? Are you getting business out of your podcast?
No, I think it's more like the podcast you guys do here. It's for fun. You can tell on a podcast if the person's having fun or not.
True.
Right? You can just tell. You're like, I don't want to hear someone who's not having fun.
We'll just kind of get the list of questions and
and they're always the same.
I noticed in 2007 you started a company called Kiss Metrics. You're like, yes.
It's 2008.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
So you got to get your facts right too.
You got to fact check. Yeah.
I hate to give this advice, to be honest, and the reason is because I think people want a tactical conversion, or they want to purchase when they do these things.
They want something
because they think it's a marketing channel.
Gotcha.
It's a human channel. Let's not call this a marketing channel. And if you want to get in people's ears, podcasting is the easiest way. People are at the gym listening to your podcast. They're in the car listening to your podcast. They're not ready to sign up for your crap, right? But you get to build your brand that way, right? And it's if you get excited to talk, then do a podcast. Mm-hmm. If you get excited to write, then blog. Yeah. But don't do it if you don't get excited about it, because it's one of those things that it pays off in the long run, but it never pays off in the short run. At this point, you and I are talking about converting from a blog, but we wouldn't be talking about that 6 months ago when you had 10 visitors.
Next question I want to ask you.
Wait, pause. Can we move the coffee a little bit? Yeah, that's better.
It's not a coffee, it's a mate.
It's, and we like to say, which is like the best sales reps today understand that helping is the new selling.
Helping is the old selling.
The old selling. Like, so it's
We're
never...
supposed to help people, period. This
But
is humanity. We're talking about humans, right?
But then something happened where we fell in love with MQLs and lead forms.
Predictable
and
revenue, I think it's
nurturing.
called.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I mean, once something gets formulaic,
Okay.
everyone does it because someone wrote a book on it.
Right.
Not dissing the book. Book's great.
Right.
But we're now like beyond that.
You mean just the
'cause
process?
Just
like,
think about it. Do you want to get a cold call from a sales rep?
No.
Do you want to sign up for a service and get like a phone call?
This is the thing that we say a lot, which is like, think about yourself as a person. We hate all of those things.
Yeah, so don't do it.
But then we go to our jobs, and then we go do all of the things that we hate every single day.
Yeah, so I mean, you just have to think about it. Like, think about a more human way to do it. I agree, it is helping. I don't like the new word because we should always be helping. The best salespeople have always been helpful.
Yeah, there was the old school example where like the guy who was selling vacuums door to door would just come up and like dump a bunch of shit on your rug and be like, "How are you gonna clean that up?"
Yeah, but he's helping because maybe he put the shit there, but
Yeah.
you put shit on your rug too, and shit
true,
happens.
yeah.
And like vacuums were a new technology, so he had to demonstrate. I actually think that is helping.
Have you noticed a shift in SaaS sales, like, or are people sticking to the predictable revenue model because it is predictable?
The predictable revenue model has become unpredictable. And the reason it's become unpredictable is that's what happens when everyone does something. So what I think about sales today is that if you go look out there in companies that have been really well funded, many of them have actually contracted their sales teams. So they've actually made their sales teams smaller, even though they raised a bunch of money. Why? Stop working. Everything gets saturated.
Well,
It's like a marketing
right,
channel.
right. Traditional sales hiring model is it's very scalable because it's quantifiable. So you have 10 reps that are working, ooh, we can drag the spreadsheet and all of a sudden
10x that will make 10x the revenue.
But then all of a sudden when those numbers don't catch up, then you have to lay off salespeople.
Right, and the thing is, if you have a lot of salespeople and your marketing hasn't caught up and you don't have enough leads, then you have a different problem.
Right.
If you have a lot of money and you haven't figured out how to spend it to get you more sales,
Right.
besides just the salespeople component, you're screwed.
Right.
And as there's more companies doing it, it basically gets saturated, and people, the customer, gets tired of it.
Right.
So I think predictable revenue was great if you caught it early. Now it's late. So basically, if you just look at a sales funnel, figure out where your problems are, you'll notice a lot of the times the problems are not getting the lead, and the problems aren't getting on the first call. The problems have to do with whatever happens from the first call and when someone actually purchases. And so if you ask me about what happens next,
Yeah.
I think we optimize those areas without humans.
The bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
Man, you are good at this game because my next question was going to be about bots.
Yeah, I didn't even cheat.
I know you did. Bots are the big topic in SaaS right now. How much of that is real and how much of that is hype?
People come up with something new and there's a new set of technology, whether it's the fact that Watson exists or now we know it's real because Amazon has put out a bunch of services around like machine learning and AI and all that. I mean, it's awesome. I'm so thankful for that.
Do you have an Echo?
I do. Yeah.
And you use it?
Yeah. My kid uses it. You know the number one use case for an Echo?
No.
You're a marketer, think. Oh, music.
Music. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. You're a marketer, think.
So, my thesis on bots today is like it's definitely a great movement because it enables us to do seemingly human things without a human getting involved.
Yep.
But we're still very far away from actually having artificial intelligence.
But is that the point though? Like, do we want... The thing that we talk about at Drift is like, we don't want to have bots replace humans. It's like, how do we optimize you? So like, if you are a sales rep, how are you only spending time on the people who actually want to buy? Like, versus, oh, Hiten has done this. He works at this company. They have this much revenue. Ooh, let's call him. Like, do you think it's going to be, are bots going to replace sales function? Maybe?
I think bots will make sales more efficient. I truly believe that. I think the ways that we're doing it today, it's like most things like hype cycle. Like it's hype, so people think that yes, bots are going to replace humans, but bots should augment them, as you're saying. And like you have this bottom of the funnel problem. Once things get down to the bottom of the funnel, and people have like these dozens of questions about how to integrate your thing or whether it can do this or that, why should a human answer them? Because a bot can probably do a better job answering them than a human. So yeah, I love bots. I think bots are great. We are in the hype cycle where I think we're starting to realize that all these companies that have been funded that are making bots are going to fail. Not all of them, but most of them. just because we've been oversold the promise of bots. We as in collectively, we've created this problem. That happens with everything. Everything gets oversold, and then there's this period where like you have to come back to reality, and then you start seeing some interesting things creep up because we're back to reality.
Cool. All right. You got a book recommendation or anything that you've listened to lately that you love?
I have an old book recommendation.
Hit me. You know, we were just talking about old books.
Yeah.
What do you got?
We like old books. There's a book. It's not that old. It's called The 5 Elements of Effective Thinking. It's one of my favorite books. I read it quite a bit, like literally every quarter, every 6 months. I've given the recommendation.
Do you
before.
read it or you listen to it?
I listen to it.
Okay.
I consider that reading for myself.
Yeah.
And the reason I like it is it'll tell you things like whatever you think the opposite. And it gives you a bunch of these tools that are really effective.
That reminds me a lot of you.
Yeah, works really well,
pretty
right?
good.
But I like being like counterculture, so.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's Hanging with Hiten.
Yeah, there we go. Hang in with me.
Trademark. Cool. All right.
It's the truth.
Get me off this couch.
Well, this couch is great.
It's nice.
This table's better.